Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ready to Ramble.
Yeah, hello.
Y'all, we are part of the Tuesday Talks here at Hyper RPG. If you just watched the Dragon Ball Z show, I hope you're sticking around because we're going to talk about some wrestling. It is a huge week. There are parentageness is happening, and it's crazy. And then after this, we got a movie talk show, and there's going to be some stuff to talk about there. But first of all, I'm Cameron Rice, joined as always
By Janel Santa Cruz.
If he's a working man, maybe
Working
he'll
hard.
get here. Maybe last week he showed up a little late, but we got a hell of a guest. Sir, introduce yourself.
I wouldn't say a hell of a guest, but technically I'm a guest. Filling in. It's my birthday.
Yes.
But, I'm Andy Campbell. I'm Janelle's husband. Sorry.
I had to sit in the middle.
Yes.
I demanded it. I'm like, I'm in the
We got into a
We're
big
so
fight on the way
apart.
here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was
We're
like,
sitting
Cameron
on
is sitting in
outsides.
between us.
Yeah,
Give him a
kayfabe.
safe distance.
We're breaking
So-
kayfabe.
I'm very happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So very exciting. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Obviously, the big thing in chat. We're gonna get to it. The Kurt Angle, the Kurt Angleness.
Yes, the Kurt Angle
Oh,
angle.
The Kurt Angle. It has broken the internet in half.
I like it.
Oh,
Hashtag-
let's just get
talk
angle
about it.
angle.
let's just get into it.
Jump into it.
Let's get into this
I didn't
right
really
now.
hear anything about it. I don't know. This
boy.
is a show about wrestling?
You were
Yeah.
the perfect guest. You're lucky it's your birthday.
Classic soap opera. Soap opera.
Yeah, so Kurt Angle. Well, obviously we've been building up the storyline for a little while. There was a hidden thing, his past. It was going to possibly ruin his career.
gonna ruin his
It was
family
going to ruin
and
his career and his family. And then last week we had he's going to finally reveal it. He's going to reveal it. He got on the phone with somebody and said, "No, we have nothing to be ashamed of. I love you." And everyone was like, "Oh, it's a secret lover. It's a secret lover." And we talked
Yes,
about it
I
last
thought it
week.
was.
Yeah, I thought it was too. We talked about it last week. The speculation. We were thinking, wouldn't it be cool if it was Stephanie McMahon? But we also know that sounds like a Vince McMahon idea that both Stephanie and Triple H would veto
What was
Yeah.
it?
immediately.
Who's
exactly.
what? Dixie Carter? Some
Dixie.
TNA?
A lot of people were praying
thing
it
was
would
gonna-
not be Dixie Carter.
Right.
There was very real concern that it was going to end up being Dixie Carter because Dixie Carter was on the Kurt Angle documentary special that aired after Raw last week.
Right.
So if she's fine appearing on WWE television now, a lot of people were like, "Oh God, don't be Dixie Carter." And good news, it was not Dixie Carter. It wasn't even a secret lover.
Yeah, it wasn't. They went with the more
Yet.
dramatic angle.
They went with the more.
The secret son.
They went with the secret son. So throughout the whole episode, they're building it up. Kurt Angle's going to deliver the news. He's going to deliver the news. He's got to go out there, and he goes out there and delivers this story about how he was in college and he dated a girl. It was only for a little while because that makes it better.
While getting what chanted, by the way.
Oh, you suck. Oh, I love it, and I love that he loves that. That's my favorite. So he goes out there and announces that he has a son, and surprise, it's a WWE superstar.
Yeah.
So
Oh, my
already
Lord.
on the roster. They're already on the roster. And good news, everybody. It's one of the American Alpha.
Yeah, you know him as Jason Jordan.
Yeah, and Chad Gable, I got this pulled up right now. Lucas, if we want to pull this up on the screen right now, apparently this was news
This is
to
Chad's reaction.
his former tag team partner. This is Chad Gable's reaction.
I mean, that was my pick for the angle. I'm sure that was a lot of people's
I think a
picks
lot-
for the
If you're going to do the illegitimate
son
child,
Right.
deal.
Well, everyone wanted them to wrestle each other. It was a dream match, obviously,
Right.
Gable and Angle.
yes. So yeah, Chad Gable wrote what 24 hours ago, and apparently he's going to be interviewed by Renee Young tonight during SmackDown because Talking Smack has been canceled. So we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about that
Yeah.
soon. Yeah. So it turns out it was Jordan. He comes out, they hug. Kurt Angle's crying. He's like, "This is my son." So I guess because Kurt Angle's his dad. He's now on Raw. I guess they
Yeah.
broke up the American
That's how
Alpha.
that works. All family members have to be
Yeah.
on Raw. It's in the fine print.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So fascinating. People on the internet are not into this, and it is so interesting to me. Let me ask you guys, like, what do you think of it? Because this feels like, for lack of a better term, old wrestling storylines.
Very old
Like,
school soap opera.
Because we're now in the reality era. We're in the era where it's like Dean Ambrose and Renee Young are a couple because they are a couple.
Because, yeah.
You know, John Cena's going to ask Nikki Bella to get married because they are a couple. We're now
Yeah,
dealing
Ms.
with
Maurice,
something
you know.
that, and now it feels like we're dealing with something that's, for lack of a better term, is something you would have seen in like the 80s
Yeah.
because you couldn't Google things to find out who was actually
Yeah.
someone's
Well, I
parents.
think they tried to cover their bases. They're like, well, he was adopted, and they made up this whole storyline that I guess if you go back and technically want to look up, like Jason Jordan's Wikipedia.
Yes.
he
Yeah,
was
or-
raised by these two other people because he was adopted.
Yeah, it's a little odd to have like actual bloodlines within wrestling. You know, Bob and Randy Orton. You know, Dusty Rhodes and his 2 sons.
Well, you have like the fake fam, like you have the Holly cousins who are not actually related.
Yeah.
But they're cousins. It's not like this is my child.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind it either.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, I've
Well,
talked to
didn't Andy and I were looking up, and the ratings were up, right, Andy?
Yeah, it was possibly the highest rated Raw since the Monday after Mania.
people
So
wanted to see
that-
that Dixie Carter get on Raw.
I
Dixie
think people are
Carter.
just disappointed it wasn't as scandalous as they were building it up to be because it was, you know, like
Well, he had made it like this is going to ruin my career, my
Right,
family, and
right.
people were
where,
like,
where he didn't really do anything wrong. It was something
Right.
he didn't know about. You know, he didn't like.
Yeah.
It wasn't an affair he had with his current wife or anything like that. You know.
No, and I think that's kind of what makes it interesting because it does feel like classic WWE storytelling, which is I would almost be willing to bet the first time it was this storyline came up that it was probably like a secret lover or
Right.
something.
Right.
And then as the years go by, it's like, you know, let's do this instead. Because WWE is very well known for, again, I keep talking about it
Changing
because hashtag save Rusev. Rusev was supposed to do Money in the Bank. They built up this whole thing about like, I will not come back unless I can fight at Money in the Bank for the title. And then that completely got
Rusev ruined everything because he was supposed to do like Jinder's job practically. Or,
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Oh, that's so upsetting. I love Rusev.
not to say that Rusev ruined everything. I love Rusev to death, but you
Rusev
know,
is the- yeah.
them handling him ruined everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adrian Rusev, yeah.
Well, or didn't he get injured too or something?
He was injured,
No.
and that's why they had Jinder fill in, kind of take his spot, because that was recently what happened. That was supposed to be.
Yes, they were a tag
Rusev's
team,
spot.
and I don't know if them being a tag team made McMahon look at Jinder Mahal differently. Also, them expanding to India probably didn't hurt. But then, yeah, they seemed like they were building up to Rusev doing something at Money in the Bank, only for then it to just not happen. They never mentioned it again, as if it was never a thing, because WWE is weird with continuity.
Yeah.
For him to only then come back the same day, which we didn't talk about this last week, but I feel foolish we didn't. Coming back with the same day as John Cena, and Cena was built
Right.
up, and now Cena's he's a free agent.
He can do whatever he wants.
He can go wherever he wants.
Means whatever they want it to mean too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always John Cena is such an interesting. I like John Cena like as a guy. Like he seems like a really like decent dude who seems
hard
like
worker,
funny. Yeah, but like that character, it's so funny to me that they continue to kind of build that character up as if he's like an underdog. And like, and there's that degree of like, you can't count out Cena. You just can't count
That's
him
why
out.
they call him Big Match John.
Yeah, Big Match
Which
John.
nobody calls him
Match
that except
John.
for
It's only
JBL.
JBL calls him Big Match John.
John. But like you have the thing where it's like now Cena could just jump from show to show. But anyway, they bring back Rusev and you just get squashed
Or without Lana, I don't know.
without Lana because Lana is now a wrestler.
Question mark?
Question mark.
Yeah.
She keeps getting squashed though, so I guess not.
I mean, I like Lana. She works hard, but I don't like them apart.
No, I don't either. It kind of feels like Miss Elizabeth and the Macho Man.
Yeah.
Macho
And
Man.
they ruined that whole story, that angle, the breakup angle, where they could have done the Elizabeth moment, you know.
Oh yeah.
I
Lana,
Lana.
will you marry me? She said yes. People are like, I'm not crying at this one. But anyway, to go back to the angle thing, I mean, it's good because it puts spotlight on a wrestler who, frankly, when American Alpha moved up, was kind of lost in the shuffle at SmackDown. I think WWE didn't know what to do with them, which is foolish because SmackDown was supposed to be the show that gave people opportunities, and how you have American Alpha on and you do not give them a massive push right away seems crazy to me because I feel like the Raw tag team was where the big stuff was happening anyway. So
Right.
why wouldn't you put Rockets on American Alpha and be like, you're going to be the SmackDown tag team?
100%. Yeah, because that is a real big bummer. I think not having them as a team is a real detriment to
And
the product.
it's not like they didn't have the chance. There was a point in SmackDown where like the
Yeah.
tag division was real stale before the Fashion Files stuff started getting over.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it was like you got the Ascension, you got the Colognes, you got, you know, Breezango, and then you got like nobody else. So why couldn't you throw
Yeah.
American Alpha in the mix at that point? But
Yeah, so...
JB, don't even get me started on the Enzo and Cass situation.
Oh, no, we have to because we have not talked about it. You have not been here. You haven't been here to
start
discuss it.
now.
This is a
There
wrestling
was a
show. We got to talk about
development
it.
last night.
Well, then we're
yes.
gonna start.
Talk
We're,
about that, yeah.
we're talking about it a little later. But
the Usos.
hey, Oos.
Hey, what's up, Us?
But yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It does at the same time maybe hurt Jordan a little bit. Not now, but I think a little bit in the future if he does get that big push. If he is like turns into like the next Rock or anything like that, where it's like here's the next big guy.
They didn't give him any mic time alongside Angle.
No,
they didn't.
He came out and hugged him.
It was kind of an abrupt.
Good acting from both of them, I think.
But maybe he'll come out and be like, he'll probably cut something on Monday, his own promo, his own version.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe Enzo will be Jordan's mouthpiece.
Wow, what if Enzo was Jordan's mouthpiece?
Well, let us talk about Enzo and Cass, the Scotch. Let's talk about Enzo and Cass. So, Janelle, you have not been here to talk about the breakup. How do you feel? What are your thoughts?
We know that first of all, Vince wants Big Cass to himself, like where he's on his own. We all know that.
Well, we kind of saw that when Enzo got that concussion last year. That. They very easily could have kept Cass backstage for that like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
They gave him a shot, and he did well.
They put him in a 4-way for the title. They pushed him hard those 4 weeks, I think, like as a testing ground.
Yeah.
And I guess Vince was very happy with it. So the breakup came, and I guess it's also interesting because there's also talk of backstage heat on both of them for real. Did you hear about this?
No, I have not.
Enzo and Cass?
Enzo and Cass for separate, different reasons. Apparently, so if you ever want to think dislike Roman Reigns, here's maybe another reason. So Enzo apparently is like very much like his character. He is like, that's a kind of
he lives the character.
He lives the character, and people talk about like a lot of times wrestling to be successful, you're just amping yourself up, who you normally are. That's what makes a lot of people work. And so I guess Enzo is kind of that guy, and you either love that or it gets on your nerves.
Right.
And whatever happened, I'm not sure what happened, but the Observer talked about that not too long ago. He did something on the tour bus, and Roman Reigns kicked him off the bus. And he's currently getting the Miz treatment. For those who don't know the Miz treatment, the Miz ate some fried chicken around was it Benoit's bag, I think.
I thought it was a ref's bag.
I read different stories whether it's a ref or it's Benoit, but
somebody's bag you don't mess with.
And so the Miz was made to dress outside the dressing rooms, away from everybody else. And so I guess Enzo is whether he was or is currently getting the Miz treatment. There's that, and apparently I guess Roman Reigns is the new locker room leader. I guess now that's
what I read from that right now.
Well, that was the other fascinating thing.
It is his yard, and he is the big dog.
He's the big dog.
He's the big dog.
Well, the reason that stood out to me when I read that story as well is because Undertaker was always the locker room leader for years. And people always talked about that the Undertaker was this locker room leader.
And he absorbed his locker room powers.
He truly did. It truly happened, y'all.
WWE is Highlander confirmed.
yeah.
There can be only
Roman
one.
Reigns
Only
stood
one.
in the ring, and the Undertaker lightning now he's got Undertaker's powers. He just hasn't used them yet.
I think that's why the stage caught fire.
There you go.
True, good call. So that's the heat on Enzo, but that's heat like the Miz can go away eventually. The heat on Cass.
Yes, tell me that part.
Apparently, a very big, very vocal Trump supporter. Which is very good for the higher ups because one of them is a member of the Trump cabinet. But it turns out the rest of the talent, not so much.
Wow.
I could see a Sasha Banks maybe not wanting to hear about Trump constantly. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the boss is a huge Trump person. I don't know. And whatever your political affiliation is. But apparently Cass is a big time Trump guy and is very vocal.
Well, I appreciate him not spreading it out on Twitter and being too vocal at least online.
Is that
smart enough?
Is that why they made his new theme shitty? The guys who made it were like,
Everyone's like, no.
CFOs are
and it should be said, because he doesn't really talk about it on Twitter. So this is speculation. This might not be true. Maybe this is someone just spreading shit that doesn't like Big Cass in the back. Maybe he's not a Trump person. I will say, and this is mean, and it's not fair at all, because she maybe has her own opinions, but it did make me go like, oh God, I hope Carmella's not a Trump person.
I was thinking that too.
Right? Because
they're
in a
relationship. I was like, I don't like Carmella.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I love Carmella. Don't be a Trump person.
I have
Carmella,
my own feelings
please.
on Carmella. She, this is a story I heard through the grapevine from a friend that was a Laker girl with her. That she was very, very aggressive about camera time on a soap opera where she was like pushing girls out of the way and Carmella. You're working uphill, girl.
You're climbing up a shit hill, girl. Watch it.
She's doing a good job nowadays, though. I didn't really like her in NXT, but
no, NXT she felt more like she did despite that she was learning the moves, she did kind of feel like for valet. But now I do feel like she's kind of coming to her own.
Yeah, no,
as an athlete.
She's doing well. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's going on with Enzo and Cass, and I guess Cass is they're having a continuous 3-way thing with the Big Show, which is interesting. I'm wondering what's the plan with the Big Show at the end of the day, because he's talking about going retirement. He wants to have one more big match.
His powers are going to be absorbed by Big Cass. Okay.
Oh
It'll
man,
be bigger Cass.
Bigger Cass.
Biggest Cass.
the biggest Cass.
I don't mind the Cass Big Show program.
Yeah.
I just don't want Enzo involved. I want
I wouldn't mind if Enzo got his own thing.
I mean, I think in order to sell the power, just have Enzo die, just big boot him, and then disappear for a couple weeks, and maybe come back with his own program. But it's kind of weird to have Enzo kind of sit off to the side and all right, come fight my battles for me.
Bring in someone else to fight my battles. Although I did like. Did you see when he pulled that kid in the audience, with that kid that had like the Enzo hair? They had, like,
he's like, give me a chair.
He's like, me and this kid, he's like cutting a promo with this kid like right next to him, and the kid's just like all excited. And I really appreciated that, because that's like,
this kid ain't soft.
Live shows. Yeah, this kid ain't soft.
And then does the chicken dance thing. The kid. I love Enzo. I love Enzo.
He is a chicken walk.
And then we got what else is happening on Raw? So we got Angle, Cass, the Hardys seems like they're gonna be broken soon.
Yeah.
Seems like they're gonna be broken soon. Jeff constantly losing too. Jeff's getting pinned.
Yeah.
And Matt keeps getting hit in the head.
Keeps getting busted open.
So I think we're gonna see some broken Hardys soon.
Oh yeah, we do have the other thing to talk about being hit in the head.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get. Speaking of being busted in the head, y'all. So we gotta show this. Lucas, we're gonna show something on the screen.
Lucas.
So y'all, Finn Balor got his noggin clogged. If you didn't see this last night, we're gonna show you this real quick. This was Elias Samson. I still call him the Drifter.
First, yeah.
I still call him the Drifter.
I still call him El Vagabundo.
And so he hit Finn Balor with a guitar.
Samson back with that guitar.
Oh, he used the wrong one.
So he knocked. We usually call it, in the business it's called gimmick. You gimmick up a table, you gimmick up something so it breaks. It breaks easy. That's why a lot of the announce tables, they're practically made of Velcro.
It's fake, right?
So this was then what Finn Balor put on his Twitter account. If we want to show that on the screen, Matt.
More evidence that Vince McMahon is trying to actively murder Finn Balor.
I know.
It's like, what can I do to him this week?
Stop trying to kill this man.
I know, this poor Irish lad who just wants to wrestle.
I just want to wrestle and play
Swap
with my
out
Legos.
the guitar, man. Swap out the guitar.
He's the Billy Elliot of wrestling. Just let him
play
wrestle.
the real one.
Yeah.
Get your boy to swap it out.
That
match.
is, oh my God. Considering this man suffered a concussion from Jinder Mahal not that long ago.
Right in the back of the head.
Oh God, just why wouldn't you? Which makes me, I feel like Meltzer's probably going to talk about this sometime this week. I want to know, is that a planned spot and the gimmick didn't work, or was that a wrestler impromptu? Like Elias Samson was like, oh, let's do this thing, or Finn Balor was like, hit me with the guitar.
Well, the small group of Samson fans out there has been clamoring for him to actually use the guitar as a weapon. So it was finally
Here's what
sort of that
happens when he
payoff.
does it.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
this poor man, especially because, like, by all accounts, Finn Balor is one of the nicest guys in the industry. He's super sweet. Everyone loves him, and I'm like, this poor bastard.
Leave him alone.
But I also wonder, like, is this the feud? Is this Finn's feud going into SummerSlam? Is going to be with the Drifter?
I think they're trying to lean into Bray territory, right?
So yeah, I guess Bray showed up and told.
So as he's seeing stars, he has to try to pay attention to this Bray promo afterwards.
Y'all,
What's
so hard to talk about Bray Wyatt on a weekly basis. I love Bray Wyatt. It is not like it's not like Roman Reigns. It's not like Roman Reigns. Whereas like Roman, by all accounts, being the locker room leader, he's a decent enough dude that's probably a little arrogant. If you listen to that Talk Is Jericho episode, a little bit too into himself. But at the same time, like, can put on decent matches when he needs to and faces the right guys. When I saw Hell in the Cell was here 2 years ago, him and Bray in Hell in the Cell was a great match, and Roman really did bring it. Like, people yelling, "You can't wrestle Roman Reigns." It's not true. He's not a high flyer.
He puts on pay-per-view matches.
He puts on pay-per-view matches. He can do it. Bray Wyatt is so talented and is a guy who can do on the mic. He can work in the ring. He can do everything you want to do. And I have no problem that he beat Seth Rollins twice. He's got to win some. He can't lose. You can't be the boogeyman that loses all the time. But never give him proper motivation. They never give him motivation. Like the Undertaker, even when it was the cheesy late early 90s, late 80s Undertaker, there was still some motivation. He was a hired gun, and then it became a quest for the title, or that someone was too big, or this, that, and the other. All of Bray's stuff is just so vague.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to go after Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins was a liar
It's
trying
like, what's
to
the motivation? It's never
rehabilitate himself.
Well,
I don't know. And now he's going after Finn Balor because Finn is a dreamer, sleeps with the night. There's no, like, why aren't you going after the title?
Yeah.
Go after Brock.
I know. I would be fine with him like going
Go after
for the
Joe.
title, going after
Yeah.
the title like the way like Naito, where I have it and I don't give a crap, like where you just toss it out, where you're just like I can take it if I want it, and he doesn't care. Like it seems like he doesn't care for the right reasons at all. Like what is even happening?
So I guess it's gonna be Finn, maybe a 3-way with Finn, Bray, and the Drifter at SummerSlam,
Maybe,
unless
but-
the Drifter's like at the last second gets
I mean, normally I'm totally with you. I'm a big Bray guy. I hate to see his, him just being knocked farther and farther down. House of Horrors,
Yeah.
whatever else you gotta reference.
he's in the
Yeah.
fast forward
Which
position on the show. and
I'm
I hate
still
that.
waiting for Roman versus Bray, the Big Dog's House of Horrors match.
Oh
coming.
yeah. Put him in a
WrestleMania.
kennel,
Here we
kennel
go.
match. Kennel match too. Make it
Oh,
happen,
no,
WWE.
no,
If you're gonna
Um,
bring back the Punjabi prison match, bring back
So,
the kennel
like-
from hell.
The kennel from hell was so. Oh no.
Oh my
I mean,
Can
god.
we have a kennel from hell match here with just kaiju? Just like
Oh,
hanging
yeah.
out? Chilling?
It would be
Versus,
the
Joanna.
exact
It was
same
the
match.
Exact same thing, because he would just be
Just a bunch of dogs chilling out and shitting.
Yeah.
I mean, so normally I would say that a program with Bray is sort of like, a bad thing for your career at this point, but it is sort of a natural fit to unleash the demon from Finn once again in
Yeah.
that sort of program.
And I
So-
get it. It seems like Finn and Bray would be a good match. You have the demon, you have the spawn of hell, and all these kinds of things.
fantastical elements.
Yeah, and there's like the that kind of stuff. But it's also that degree of like, are you actually going to pull the trigger on this? Because like,
Right.
Bray worked when he worked with Daniel Bryan, John Cena until Cena buried him, and even I would say some of the Roman Reigns stuff, like when like there was
Yeah.
that like spooky room with Roman's daughter and all
With
these
Roman,
things.
Pictures of Roman just cut out, like
Yeah.
his eyes cut out. I was wondering what PA was doing that.
And I was like, oh, I think they're pulling the trigger to make Bray like more serious threat beyond like I can turn
Right.
the lights off in the arena.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
cool, you're doing more. You're doing that weird Ministry of Darkness Undertaker kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then they just never did it again.
They did, yeah.
And
They didn't
that's
continue.
kind of the frustrating thing with WWE sometimes is like they'll have these things and it'll be like, oh, it looks like they're going this way. And then someone at the last second will go, never mind.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. Nah,
Yeah.
forget it.
I don't care.
All it takes
Nah, forget
is for Vince to flip a coin when someone's walking down the ramp, to change the storyline sometimes. But
Well, let's talk about Vince flipping a coin because Talking Smack got canceled and so did Renee Young's other interview show on
Oh,
the
yeah.
WWE Network. So
Oh, well-
rumors abound, y'all.
Unfiltered?
Yes.
Unfiltered.
Rumors abound, y'all. So apparently, and Renee Young sent out a tweet that said, well, this was a great way to find out. It was a fan, I think, tweeting at her going, sorry, your shows got canceled.
right, or it's like what if
Oh,
Chad Gable's tweet was
dear.
legit? Right, he's like,
literally, yeah, he had no
What if you
idea.
don't even know?
We're breaking up. I
He's like,
didn't know
dude, we had a
that.
tag match on Tuesday. Like, what is this?
Yeah, you're going on to a different brand. What
Yeah,
about
and
me?
so it's so
What about
interesting.
Raven?
Yeah. Well, it's so I don't know. I guess like apparently the word is that McMahon, despite at the end of the day, McMahon is still the guy who like very hands on, very much makes decisions. But it sounds like with SmackDown, he was more kind of like
Mhm.
it is what it is. And I guess he was at a television taping 2 weeks ago or a week ago
Mhm.
and watched Talking Smack. It almost sounds like for the first time ever,
Wow.
and just thought this is too real and doesn't match the brand.
Oh, because he doesn't want. Yeah.
Um,
Okay, that makes
what-
more sense.
There is a rumor, and this is a rumor, but there is a rumor, and I think it kind of goes hand in hand with the rumor that the reason Dean Ambrose ended up on Raw was that Renee and Dean got married and didn't tell anybody they were doing it, and then a week later, Dean
Yeah,
Ambrose
what a-
was on Raw.
What a novelty where you have to tell somebody you're gonna get married, like
Like your boss.
Yeah, tell your
No,
boss that you're
oh.
marrying the person that you already are with, and it's known.
'Cause,
And
yeah,
it pisses
Rusev
him
got
off.
punished for it, right? Because it
Yes.
could have jeopardized certain
Well, because she
love
was
triangle
she was
storylines or
blatantly
whatnot.
just going out. They were in the middle
Sure.
of a feud, and she was tweeting that stuff out.
Okay,
that
so
was
we were
Yes.
speculating that they got married because they got split up, so they would,
Yeah, because we were thinking Renee and Dean were getting married because they got split up because on 2 different brands.
Which is possible.
Yeah.
Which is possible. But the rumor is that they got split up because they got married and didn't tell anybody. And the other rumor now going around is that McMahon canceled both of Renee Young's shows because she might be pregnant. And it also did not, for lack of a better term, seek
Dean laying
permission.
down the dirty deeds, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that's a rumor right now. I mean, obviously, it's a rumor that will be able to be never proven. But if Renee Young ends up being like hugely pregnant in the next 3 or 4 months, I guess we can all go like, well, maybe that was true. Maybe it was one of those weird McMahon things where you go, he's just like, what?
Weird.
You can't. I need you in a sexy dress.
Yeah.
Hosting
Pregnant
shows.
Renee DLC
Well,
for
why don't they just
2K18 confirmed.
Oh yeah, right. That was horrible. I remember that. I was gonna say, why don't they just get Tyler Breeze as
As
Tanae,
Tanae, and just
yeah.
don't say anything.
Tanae Young.
Just for like a month, yeah.
Well, speaking of Young, the Mae Young Classic, they had. Did you guys get to watch that 5-minute video of the announcer who's in it?
I haven't seen it yet. I didn't see the full thing, but we were talking about the ropes earlier.
What are the ropes? Let's talk about this.
I think they're white. I think they're white.
white,
They're white
yeah.
ropes.
Or because
like
they,
that.
I think they switched up the 205
They took
live
off the
ropes
purple
on
ropes
Raw
on Monday.
finally.
Good.
Yeah.
Sweet call.
Which
but I
the
haven't-
crowd was insane for.
Yeah,
They
I
just blew
wanna-
up for this match.
I want to know what you know. I know they did not. I want to know what you know about the Mae Young Classic. Let's
Well,
talk about who's on there.
So I'm gonna pull up a list because I don't
Okay.
want to miss anybody.
By the way,
I'd like to
hello
run that
to
down, too.
all of our Overwatch teammates in chat.
Thanks for the birthday
yeah,
shout-outs, boys.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be playing with a couple
our
of them on
Overwatch
stream.
team.
On stream.
The
Oh,
dumb
no.
guys.
Our Dealing Damage show.
Yes.
Oh, the internet
Be fun.
cannot be down.
The internet.
Google,
Come
what
on.
are you doing, Google?
And,
Man, Google
Debbie,
sucks.
Debbie wants you to wink at the camera for him. Andy, there you go.
Okay.
Give him a fat wink. Oh, there you go. Nice.
Well, gonna pull up Internet Explorer like a damn noob. We can keep talking while I try and
Well,
Wanna log
find
into my
this.
AOL account real quick?
I think so.
Okay,
That's all-
Candice
that's
LeRae.
just
That's
stop right
all
there.
that matters because I love Candice
Cut it
LeRae.
out.
She's like my favorite thing. She's from Riverside,
I
California,
saw-
which is where I went to school.
I just noticed this. Big Cass standing in front of the sea. It just says big ass. It should be known that Great Balls of Fire. There were some wonderful little things that came out.
yeah.
Big Cass.
Other sign coverages.
Other
yes.
sign coverages, people's heads in the way that ended up spelling like, what was it? Like some stuff like obviously like Great Balls of Fire, but it was like ball fire, like weird. Oh, let me see if I can find some of this stuff. I gotta be able to find some of this. So the other things, I'm kind of bummed because I love Talking Smack. Talking Smack was so much fun.
Other than just being entertaining, it was the best platform for superstars who haven't been given enough match time, enough camera time on the tape shows or the live shows to get themselves over. Like I don't like Baron Corbin the wrestler. I like Baron Corbin the Talking Smack
That's why
guest.
it sucks. It's so much.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't get
I don't
to
like
see
his
that.
promo style. I don't really like his moveset, whatever.
One of the most talked about things that happened in the last couple of years was on Talking Smack, which was the Miz calling out Daniel Bryan.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, Eat Balls of
Totally.
Fire. That was one.
that-
Eat Balls of Fire.
Eat balls of fire.
Yeah.
No, the
Miz calling out Daniel Bryan was one of the biggest things that ever happened on Talking Smack. Whoop. What's going on, bud?
The interwebs.
Finding that internet gal. We gotta tell you about that Mae Young Classic.
Oh yeah.
What was your favorite wrestling match you ever watched, bud? Zach?
The one we're about to have.
Zach?
Get no soul.
Yeah. Real hard stuff there, Zach. Okay, here we
Got a
go.
promo right there.
I don't think I have the WWE, the Mae Young
Oh.
Classic.
Mae Young Classic.
Yeah.
How many entrants do we have? Because is it the same amount of entrants that we had
I
in
think
the
so.
Cruiserweight Classic?
The CWC.
CWC. I just hope that after this whole series that the women don't get treated the same way that the cruiserweights were treated.
So yeah.
Are they going to have different ropes too when they come?
Well, that's the thing. So the biggest upside downside of these things is like, Cruiserweight Classic was so good. It was so good. If you have not watched the Cruiserweight Classic, if you have the WWE Network and do not have the Cruiserweight, if you've not seen the Cruiserweight Classic, go. It's so good.
The European tournament I thought was fantastic.
yeah.
as well.
Great.
Man,
And 205 Live and the Purple Ropes on Raw have kind of hurt that stuff, and it's too bad.
No buenos.
And I think that's kind of the thing is like try to enjoy these things as they are right now. Try to enjoy the Mae Young Classic as it is, and not be concerned if like SmackDown suddenly gets a women's division with white ropes, where the storylines don't matter and that kind of stuff. But let's look through some of these.
I saw Candace's name and I was
like, there she is. Yep, Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Jazzy Gabbert.
I love that it's just so international because
It's very international.
we have a German woman,
India.
That's
New
one of the good things
Zealand.
about the CWC too. Was
Australia.
just exposure for so many
Mia
different.
Yim. I
different
want to know about
styles.
her. South Korean. Is she good at games?
Do I have any
That's her
luchadoras?
gimmick. She's diva. She's literally diva.
Tenera
Princessa.
Canade, Brazil, maybe. Oh, we do have
Say we
Mexico.
have yeah, buddy.
Ooh, princesa.
I like it
Shug
already.
hit.
I also like, and this is the other thing I
Sug-
liked, and it's what I liked about the Cruiserweight Classic as well. Age. Not everyone is 22.
Oh, really? That's
Oh,
a
yeah,
big
yeah.
deal. So that to me means that it wasn't Vince's idea.
No, I think this is another case. So this is the one Latina from Mexico,
Yeah.
and she's
Princesa.
37.
How do you say her last name?
It's 37. huh?
Princessa Sagette?
Interesting.
Sagette. It ends with a T.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to go Italian. I feel like my voice wants to make it like,
Sugattinis.
I know. like, that's not right. That's not right.
Prosciutto sugattinis. Hey.
And we also didn't talk about in the last couple of weeks. Morrow. Morrow's doing NXT. He's coming back.
Yes.
Make
which-
NXT watchable again.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm very happy about that.
And,
I
no
love.
more Percy.
I'll watch
I mean,
him
Percy's still is on there, but I
commentate
wish that they wouldn't
paint
have
dry,
Percy
but-
anymore.
Have Percy.
Have Percy.
Well, that was the great thing about the Cruiserweight Classics was that Morrow and Daniel Bryan announcing that was so good.
Oh my God.
And
They were like two kids they were having so much fun just
Yeah.
poking each other
And that
between
makes
in
us
commercial
like
breaks.
watching it because watching other people have fun.
Yes.
Yes, like we want to see the people that are excited to be doing their job and not, bringing other people
Like,
down. JBL.
I bet Daniel Bryan signed his life away for 2 years just to do that show.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
and so
He
it
had
is
to.
interesting is like the broadcast team for the Mae Young is Jim Ross, which I'm all about,
Yeah.
and Lita.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite.
Yeah, I would.
I adore Lita. She's my hero.
She's not the best
but not the best
talker.
talker. That's it. That's
I would
the
rather
only
have had it
reason
be
why I
Trish
grown.
Stratus. I
Yeah.
would say
Yeah.
Trish
But
is a very good talker.
She's had a baby recently. That's why she probably doesn't want to leave.
It's true. And
Okay.
background is going to be Alundra Blaze, which is fascinating.
That's
I have
really
not seen Alundra Blaze really kind of do that.
If you guys haven't seen Alundra Blaze on Dinner, what is it called?
Dinner for Three?
Yeah, Dinner for Three.
Oh yeah.
That episode with Alundra Blaze and I believe it's Ivory. I forgot who the other one was, but it's excellent. She's a very smart woman, and I'm looking forward to her. Oh, she's backstage interviewing. Okay, so it's not commentating, but at least interviewing. I'm looking forward to seeing her.
And someone's mentioning JBL in the chat, and JBL is ooh.
Boo.
Yeah, no, there's no forgiving JBL. You might have forgotten WWE, but the rest of the world has not.
Yep.
You were gonna say something. What were you gonna say?
Oh, no, I was gonna say kudos to them for having an older interviewer.
yes. Rather than throwing in like some
Mm-hmm.
20-year-old that they're hoping to make a diva in a couple of years. Molly Holly and Ivory. Oh,
yes,
was
it
that
was
those
Molly
three?
Holly. Yeah, it was Molly
Okay.
Holly.
I love Molly Holly. Molly Holly, I don't think gets enough praise. I think that's been changing over the last couple of years, being on Dinner for Three, and also getting a big shout out at the Hall of Fame by the Glamazon was a very helpful. Like, Molly Holly, I don't think gets enough credit for that era. I feel like people forget about a lot of the other women wrestlers who aren't Lita and Trish. And Lita and Trish are great, but,
Yeah, but yeah.
Molly was awesome. Ivory was awesome.
Ivory was fantastic.
Oh man, Ivory.
Ivory was originally she was a member of Glow. Remember?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Oh, really?
right. That's
Ooh.
right.
She was.
Oh.
What character would you say was based on her? What's her name from the New York girl? The New Yorker.
Melrose.
No, not New Yorker. Totally. Yeah.
Oh.
What opposite? Melrose. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's totally
yeah.
the type of character that she
Right,
was.
right,
I guess.
right.
Yeah.
And y'all, if you have not watched Glow, go do so because it was
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
fantastic, very, very fantastic. And watch the documentary as well because that is on Netflix. So let's talk a little bit because you weren't here last week to talk about the New Japan. So I was able to talk about my experience going live.
Oh yes.
But what did you think about watching it at home?
Andy, what did you think about it?
I loved it.
Yeah, because we
Oh.
because we're just such marks. Because
I'm
all
a
day we're
huge
just
New
excited.
Japan mark,
yeah.
man. Yes, yeah.
And hating on you for actually being able to go.
All Japanese all the time.
That was like a couple days beforehand. My friend was like, "You want to go?" And I was like, "Yes."
Kenny's my dude. Kenny
Kenny.
and
The
Okada
Kenny match was
are,
so good.
my guys.
He always,
Kenny
like-
Ishii. Like Ishii is also an incredible performer.
That
like,
was the first night one. Like all those matches were so good and so fun. Seeing the Young Bucks, it was so interesting to have the Bucks open the show.
Who?
Smart.
With the Briscoes.
who's the Young Bucks.
Who are the Young Bucks? Who are these Young Bucks, quote unquote? No, he's totally joking, by the way, as he's wearing a Marty Skrull shirt.
Yeah, right.
I will say, Janelle took me to my first wrestling show ever, which was a PWG, and the Young Bucks were there, and that, about 2 years ago now, and I actually did not know who they were at the time.
Yes.
And she said, they're like two Shawn Michaels. It's like,
He's like,
okay, I get it.
instantly understood. I was
From
like,
Rancho
he's like,
Cucamonga, from my hometown, the Young
he's
Bucks.
From Rancho.
He's a Rancho
so,
boy.
Oh yeah, we're big.
Rancho represent.
Young. And so I think that's a brilliant move. Having when you have a roster that stacked, you can have the Young Bucks open, knowing that that's not going to be the.
That's the
show
thing.
closer.
It feels like New Japan feels like what the Attitude Era was in the '90s, where it's like your opening match to closing match can be so stacked, and I think that's a little bit the disappointment when you look at New Japan today. The disappointment with WWE today is they have a deep roster of great talent, and it just feels like they should. I don't want to say easily because the Attitude Era is not an easy thing. People have tried to recreate it. TNA tried to recreate it like many times with some of those same wrestlers. But it does feel like you should be able to have stacked shows constantly because of all the talent you have. It makes no sense to have like moments of fast forward. And there's so much moments of fast forward on Raw. And that's why it's like I love the Hardys. I love what the Hardys are doing right now. Even like even when they were talking that we wouldn't get the broken stuff. We talked about this. It was like they give it their all every match. Yeah. They are exciting to watch.
Yes.
And I feel like there's such talent on that roster on both shows that is exciting to watch, and they're not getting the time to do certain things. And that's just, it's such a bummer.
They're just constantly like neutering, people's ideas, and sometimes it seems like they have a moment of brilliance and then they just like let it go. They're just like, we
gave this a week. We gave this a week. The ratings didn't shoot through the roof, so we're done. We're done with that for 1 week.
I mean, I've only been following the WWE product, for about almost 3 years now, which is weird to be sort of a new WWE fan with, all the best times have, long gone in the Attitude Era, most people would say. But I mean, it sort of is inexcusable to have arguably one of the best rosters and arguably some of the best talent ever to be on.
You basically
on
took all of PWG's roster from 3 years ago, minus the Bucks and a couple of the people in New Japan. How is it you don't have the most watchable show on TV?
Yeah.
And then you cut off Talking Smack, which what's Kevin gonna do now? I mean, obviously he has plenty to do.
Yeah,
but that was our favorite thing was seeing Kevin Owens on Talking Smack, just shitting on Renee over and over again, and just making it so awkward for everybody.
Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose.
Dean.
Congratulations.
I love reading his Twitter and hearing his voice mentally in my mind.
I have notifications
Kevin
for
Owens
Kevin
has
Owens.
mastered
And
Twitter.
Andy and
so good.
We got Apple Watches just for Kevin Owens notifications.
to send Kevin Owens notifications to our phone. See if I have one.
Oh, it's so good.
Dumb. Useless birthday posts.
I do actually want to find out your thoughts on this, Cameron, because chat keeps talking about Connor and
Floyd.
Yes.
Floyd and McGregor. And that'll actually lead us into a segue for this guy who's on my shirt, which is Punk, because there's been a lot of Punk news this week, which is interesting. And then we're gonna jump into a little Q&A with Andy, because I love talking with guests about what they're loving in the ring.
Yeah.
What?
So prepare. But I'm fascinated to see it. I'm wondering if it's going to be a train wreck, because both those guys, Floyd debatably is past his prime. He's still very good. He still can kick someone's ass. A little past his prime. McGregor's great. At the same time, it's going to be a boxing match. It's not a mixed match. McGregor hasn't done boxing for a couple of years. He boxed a little bit amateur, but obviously that's not too much his style.
Yep.
It's not going to shock me if Floyd beats the shit out of him quickly.
Yeah, because he's had nothing but experience and in these big matches, these big money matches.
But it's also going to depend on if Floyd goes in arrogant thinking that way. If Floyd goes in thinking he's going to wipe the floor with him, McGregor could surprise him.
I just like how much of a babyface heel dynamic this has too, because Connor walks out, cheers abound, and then the moment Floyd says a word, it's Roman Reigns is up there. Get him off the stage.
There's a great video out there. I think I saw it on Facebook of a guy in London sneaking into the backstage area by photocopying the passes, because one of Floyd's guys took photos of the passes, so he therefore took photos and copied it and got backstage, and he's talking to all these Irish people, and they are like, "Fuck the Mayweather," and all this other stuff. It's so interesting. It's happening in August. I'm probably gonna go to Buffalo Wild Wings because I'm sure they're gonna have it there.
Oh yeah.
That's my plan. But I'm very fascinated, and I like McGregor in the sense that he really does like do the wrestling thing, like his promos and everything, how he acts.
He's a storyteller, you know.
He's a storyteller. He does great heel work, and I'm waiting for the day that he's going to show up in the ring. I think it's going to happen, much like Ronda Rousey.
Absolutely,
It's going to happen. They're going to pop in there.
Just hope they handle it well. I mean, that's my response to anything. Like, hope it happens. Hope they handle it well.
Yeah, well, because we were thinking it's going to be WWE because they would pay the most, but it very well could be another place. I could see him, being like, "Fuck WWE, I don't need it."
Well, yeah, and I think what's going to end up happening is like, and that's why it's great heel work. I think it's going to end up on WrestleZone or something. We're going to read that like McGregor or Ronda did a dark match out of nowhere.
I don't think Connor's going to get knocked out. I think he's just going to get I mean, there's potential for him to get finessed.
They're marketing it over like one punch. Like, can Connor get that punch?
And that's sometimes with boxing. If you hit a guy in the right spot, just him in the right way.
Hit a 40-year-old man in the right spot.
Yeah, right in the kisser. So I'm very interested to see. But that does segue to CM Punk because Punk, there's rumors that WWE wants him back. They're trying to mend some fences to see if they can get him back. This made news earlier this week, unofficially, of course, but like through the grapevine that WWE is trying to see if they can woo him back. AJ Lee's been going out and doing interviews for her book, which if you haven't read, I read the book. It's very good.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
But she's been doing interviews about about their life, but it's also like, does she miss wrestling? And she goes, I miss it very much. He doesn't. His life is MMA. And he was on a Chicago radio show, I think, yesterday morning. And they just straight out asked him, they're like, hey, these are the rumors. Do you miss wrestling, or could you see yourself going to another promotion, like a New Japan or anything like that? Because also, New Japan, the day of the first G1 show, that Saturday morning, it made news that the Bullet Club had made an offer to him to join. To join the Bullet Club, which would have been so that, of course, like me and my friends start speculating, like, oh my God, what if Punk shows up? Is AJ in California? Because maybe he's and
you put two and two together.
Obviously, like so you start booking in your mind. We're like,
of course.
oh my God. What if during the Cody match the lights go off and you hear and it's the cross hands, but now it's the Bullet Club symbols instead of the X's. I booked it all out.
I bet if you,
He's like, I don't know. I have this T-shirt here for some reason.
But what he had said is, he said no, he's got no interest. He's perfectly happy not wrestling anymore. Now, of course, if fences were being mended and things were happening, he obviously is not going to say it publicly on Chicago radio.
Yeah.
But Punk seems to be a guy of his word. I think Punk, like 3-4 years down the line, he really has not talked much about wrestling unless people ask him, do you miss it? And his answer is usually no.
Yeah. He doesn't miss WWE probably.
Yeah. And so but they asked him about his MMA career, and he said he hasn't talked to Dana White in months. But as far as he's concerned, his next match will be in UFC. So that'll be interesting. I love CM Punk. CM Punk is a guy, like much like Austin stuff, I will go back on YouTube and watch some of their old stuff because it's just so fun and interesting and lively.
One of my favorite matches, honestly, and it's one of Meltzer's top-rated matches, is Cena and Punk in Chicago.
Cena and Punk is great. I think one of my favorite Punk matches is him and Taker at Mania, where he got his ribs like all injured because the table gimmick didn't break.
Surprise, WWE.
He got real injured. But yeah, I think like that's sort of another example is like you have a guy, and if you have not listened, anyone watching this, if you have not heard the Colt Cabana podcast with Punk, it's a fascinating listen. It is 2 episodes of the most fascinating stuff that you could ever hear about the behind the scenes perspective from one person,
right?
But the perspective of somebody who should have been the next Stone Cold.
Colt Cabana does a good job of playing devil's advocate.
Yes,
as well.
100%. But Punk on that show, he's the guy who could have been the next, who should have been the next Stone Cold and could have been, and it just sounds like WWE got in the way of that because it wasn't part of their plan. And unlike Austin, where WWE was hungry and getting their ass kicked by WCW, so they were kind of like, we'll try anything.
Yeah.
At this point, with Punk, it kind of just seemed like, well, we still have Cena. We're still the number one show in the game. No one's watching TNA. So, I don't know. But if you've not heard that Colt Cabana podcast, go listen to it.
Yeah.
It's great. And if Punk ever came back to WWE, I would be super stoked. But I'd also be happy if he was just in the ring.
I would be stoked
at a
for
PWG
him
show.
Kevin Owens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I want to see him in. So we'll very, very, very briefly. Samoa Joe and Reigns. It got Shmazi at the end, so it looks like it's going to be a 3-way at SummerSlam, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, I'm down.
Because I wanted Joe to stay in the storyline. Because Joe last week with Brock, it might be one of my favorite moments on Raw in the last couple of years when Brock looked away and he goes, "Look at me when I'm talking to you. We'll finish this right now." I love that. So I'm glad Joe is staying in the story.
I like what Joe's been doing on the main roster. Like, he's
so good.
I always liked him in NXT. I think he's been doing real good stuff. I mean, that Heyman segment he did leading up to the Brock match was like chilling, basically. When he was whispering to him, remember, how he's gonna choke him out.
Yeah.
And if you're in the arena, you can't hear the mic,
But
so
TV,
it's like,
great
what's
TV.
going on? What's going on? Like, yeah.
He's someone that they haven't had in a while, which is a genuinely scary heel, like monster.
With all the
Big-ass dude.
charisma to spare. You
Yep.
got your Braun Strowmans, but his catchphrase, "I'm not finished with you yet."
Yeah, it probably will end up being a 4-way with Braun. I'm just at the end of the day, I'm just glad that Joe is
Not
still
finished with you yet.
Oh, I love that.
Weird.
Oh my god. But I'm just glad Joe is still in it, and also because there was a little concern after Mania. Did they have a plan for Joe? Because he kind of came in as Triple H's enforcer, and then Triple H was gone.
Right.
So there was that degree of like, ooh, did they only have one thing for Joe? And thankfully, doesn't seem to be
Stephanie
the case.
took that crippling injury through a table, and she's
Yeah.
been out
She died.
for
It killed her.
So
months.
he had to
It
take
killed her.
some time off to support her.
Yeah, Stephanie pulled the ref. Stephanie pulled the ref, which is like one hit, and she's
Sneezed
like
on him and he died.
dead. Man, tragically dead after sneeze. So Andy, let us talk to you. What got you into wrestling? What's the thing? What's the match you remember, whether from youth or the thing that made you go, I'm going to check this out?
It's weird. Like, again, I've only been actively pursuing wrestling as my main form of entertainment for like a little bit less than 3 years. I mean,
So was there anything as a kid beyond like knowledge of I know who Hulk Hogan is, but
I've been a huge fighting game fan. Street Fighter, Tekken. I
Ooh.
played King and Tekken. I knew all the grab combos in like 1999. So
Yeah.
I never actively watched. I would always hear about Stone Cold and The Rock from my friends at school, whatever.
kids
I
are
was-
yelling, "Suck it!" You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, of course. I'm like, I don't know what that
it's
means. But,
okay. Yeah.
but I would always pick the luchador character. Like I was
Oh.
always fascinated with that sort of culture. Or I also did gymnastics
That's what I was gonna say,
for
yeah.
about high level competitive gymnastics for about 10 years. So when I see a
Ooh.
dude put
Yeah.
on a shiny mask and do a double backflip off the top rope onto into a thimble, like it gets me going. So
Yeah.
so she, as when we were first dating, took me to La Creme de la Creme, PWG. I didn't know what I was getting into. Like literally the best wrestling show on the planet. We got tickets somehow.
Yeah.
And I walked away just like, I didn't know. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry. Like I didn't know. I didn't. Yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't get
welcome
it.
to PWG.
As I'm holding a pitcher of beer and Roderick Strong's telling us to move out the way because he's about to fuck someone up into the into the chairs. I'm like, sign me up. I like this.
I'm in.
Yeah.
So like from there, I started pursuing my own interests. I dug into like Lucha Underground on my own time. Like,
Right.
Aside from what like the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn storylines that she was
this
like getting me
luchador
into.
stuff like really lined up with all his interest in wrestling because his fighting
like
game
it.
all of a sudden it was like same thing. Okay, got it.
It was again. I was destined to always like it. I just needed the direction. I suppose.
Right. And so what, like right now, like, is there a certain wrestler or storyline that's like grabbing you?
Okada, Kenny, the New Japan stuff. Like I watched the first Kenny Okada match live. It was 5 a.m. I had work the next day. I was watching it like through one.
You just gotta say fuck it. You
through
gotta say
one
fuck
eye,
it.
and I was like, "Oh my god, this is incredible!" I'm seriously sitting there like, this might be the best match I've ever seen in my life. Like, so the second one was easily up to par.
Yeah.
Gotta
I'm
get the
excited
third one.
for the next one.
I actually broke Andy's couch early on.
Did you throw him into it like a kid,
Yeah,
like a little
we
kid
were
wrestling?
watching-
You're like,
we were
I'm gonna
watching-
do a stunner on you.
It was like 3 a.m. This was like early on when we were dating. We were watching. I said, "You're gonna stay up with me, and you're gonna watch this New Japan pay-per-view." Oh no!
Did you say Japan?
Japan?
Yeah. What?
So we watched
She's like,
it,
"You're
and
gonna
I
watch
was just,
my
like,
guy
all
Kevin
excited.
Owens versus
Oh yeah,
Finn."
It was the WWE special in Japan.
Oh,
It
Which
was
aired, yeah.
Finn and Owens
Beast
and
Beast,
like
yeah.
babyface Neville versus like Jericho.
Yeah,
I was like,
back when
oh,
Jericho
I remember
wasn't cool
Jericho.
yet.
I was like,
That's
when
great.
he came back, but wasn't cool yet. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was just so the couch. We had a smiling couch for a while after that because I broke it. Because sitting outside like
Kevin lost and she got hyped. So
I'd love it if you tried to do the Kevin Owens move where you tried to just hit him into the ring apron. Andy, I'm gonna do this to you. Just come here.
but yeah, like fast track 3 years ahead. I watch Ring of Honor. We go to Ring of Honor in Vegas whenever it's in town.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love WWE product as much as I can, as much as, you know, I'd like Kevin's my guy, AJ, you know, Knock.
Now, have you thought about going back with the network and like checking out some of like the greatest of Stone Cold?
Yeah,
and things
I mean
like
that's honestly been a treat too, because you talk about all this Punk stuff. And I just barely missed the Punk stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the
And
summer
that
of
was
Punk. What
and
a
like
summer.
you know, so I wasn't as invested as in his storylines as they were happening.
Right.
But you know, I know you hear all about that stuff. So
Mhm.
the pipe bomb,
Yeah,
you know,
anyone who respects
the
wrestling
shoot
goes
promos.
goes back and
Yeah,
watches
same
that
thing.
stuff.
I can go back. You know, I can go back and watch like Steamboat and Flair matches, like, and I'm just like blown away by this stuff. So
The Dusty Rhodes Working Man promo.
I'm a
Oh,
sponge,
yeah.
baby.
No.
I'm a sponge.
Ric Flair, I'm coming for you, baby.
All I do is watch
Daddy.
wrestling.
Daddy.
I'm coming for you, daddy.
That's all I do. Darn it, I love it.
Yeah, we're marks. We leave the network on.
Oh, we
Sometimes
got
just put it on.
like again that Kurt Angle documentary. I gotta say again, if you have not watched the 24 Kurt Angle documentary on the network, it is so good.
Yeah.
They dive into a lot of stuff. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Dive into his illegitimate children.
Yeah, no, Jordan did not come up. Shockingly, what a documentary! They missed so
They
much.
missed the most important
How
detail.
embarrassing!
How
A
embarrassing.
week later, those filmmakers must have felt terrible. But Andy, let me ask you this before we sign off: if you have
Yeah.
any homework to assign, now we've already assigned Okada Omega 1 prior.
Oh.
So if you have a match, if you're like, y'all, I want you to go see this, what would you say?
Oh.
Don't say Okada Omega 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I'm trying to think of like the last match, whether it was high stakes or not, that really like stopped me in my tracks, or where I really had
I
to like.
don't want to like feed you one, but
Feed
I
me,
know
baby.
one. I know
go
one.
for it, go
I
for
know
it.
one that
If you
he,
saw
that
my
he
eyes
would,
light
he
up.
and I would like, because we were talking about both the Young Bucks and Candice LeRae.
Yes.
So I think people should go back and watch the Young Bucks
Oh,
versus Candice
you're
and
saying
Joey.
one like
Yeah.
just that I could
The
just pick
hardcore match.
that people need to watch.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
pick
yeah.
one.
Yes, PWG, Young Bucks versus the world's cutest tag team, Joey Ryan and
It's
Candice
on
LeRae.
YouTube if you want to find it. Like it's super accessible.
Without spoiling anything, it will turn you into a Candice LeRae fan.
Ooh.
She's
like-
hardcore. She is
Uh,
hardcore.
The
toughest
documentary should get
toughest
re-released.
woman,
Yeah, so
toughest
I said,
woman
oh
on
my
the
God, that match
planet.
is brutal, dude. Yes.
Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you
And I
will
think,
you will
yeah,
hate the Young Bucks.
You will hate the Young Bucks, which is hard to do.
Oh, but they do their heel stuff so
They're
well.
excellent heels, but we just love them so
I
much.
just love everything they do at PWG. You know, like the what is it? The controller, like you see that stuff where they pause people, or they do like
pause
matches in
people
slow
and
motion,
then
where
people just move in slow motion.
the whole crowd is like, you know.
If you're ever in
This
LA,
is awesome.
if you're ever in LA and you can get to a PWG show, first of all, you gotta get your tickets within 10
First of all,
seconds of
you
them being
can't.
released. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
But if you can, you're gonna love it.
You might have a wrestling friend who, as I have had in the past, where someone's like, "I got tickets. Do you want to come
You have to.
tonight and have
You
that
have to.
night free?"
Or,
You
what was
know,
it?
like,
There's a story.
cancel plan.
Yeah.
Jerry O'Connell is a big wrestling fan. He's like, oh, I'll go to it. He shows up. He's like, oh yeah, I'm Jerry O'Connell. Do you have a seat for me? They're like, yeah, we know who you are. You need a ticket, brother.
Yeah,
Like,
PW don't give a shit.
so he tweeted out whatever a month later. He's like, I got tickets. Like,
He
yeah.
was so excited when he finally got a ticket.
yeah, I'm friends with the former president of PWG. I gotta see if I can get him here. But y'all, Andy, thank you so much for joining us, man, and happy birthday.
No fun at all. I didn't have any fun.
That's on you. You make your own fun.
No. I had a great time. Thanks for having me,
Of
man.
course,
Yeah.
anytime. And y'all, it's for me. You can follow me, Jurassic Alien, Janelle.
Yep, Janel Santa Cruz on all the social medias.
Oh yeah, I'm at Andy Ravage on the tweeters.
So definitely do that. And guys, if you enjoyed this show and you're not subscribers, think about subscribing to our Twitch channel. We got a lot of great stuff here. We have RPGs. Janelle is joining the family. And she's gonna be streaming. You streaming tomorrow? Starting tomorrow?
Yeah, so from 3 to 6.
Dealing damage.
Dealing damage with Janel Santa Cruz.
Women doing DPS in Overwatch. Impossible.
Yeah, impossible.
Doesn't happen.
So you gotta check that out, y'all. So that's happening. And if you are at Comic-Con, I'm gonna be there. You guys gonna be at Comic-Con?
No, we're skipping it this year. Yeah.
No, we'll be
Listen,
following the
I know,
coverage.
but-
Listen, that's perfectly it's perfectly fine because I'm gonna be dead next
Yeah,
Monday
I know,
when I
I-
come back from Comic-Con.
my con experience is walking in, doing the loop, and going, okay. Like, I buy two art books for
we're
50
looking
bucks
forward-
and then peace.
I'm looking forward to Jason making an appearance at Comic-Con.
Oh, good old Jason.
Good old Jason.
I'm looking
New-
forward to the
also
puddle
new
of sweat
to the Hyper
underneath
RPG fan.
Jason.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a
his
hell of a
beard.
puddle. But
Raffle that
definitely go
beard.
subscribe to our YouTube because we're gonna be putting out a lot of stuff there. We're gonna be covering all of Comic Con or as much as we can. Obviously, all is just not possible. I'm gonna try to hit up that WWE Mattel panel because it looks like it's all the women wrestlers or the presenters there.
Oh, really?
The Bellas,
Ooh.
Sasha, Bailey. So that looks great. So I'm going to try and hit up that.
Great.
But if you are at Comic Con and you see me, please feel free to come up, tell me hi. Let me know if you have wrestling homework because I'd love to talk to you about
Yes.
the wrestling.
Yeah.
But guys, go watch wrestling. Go let us know what you're thinking, and we'll be back next week with more Ready to Ramble. Stick around for Cineverse.
Yeah,
Woo.
yeah. Woo,
Thanks,
woo, woo,
everybody.
woo. Bye.
Ba-da-bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-da-bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-da-bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-da-bum, bum. Bum, ba-da-bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-da-bum, bum.